Forget about it, bub. What's going on, everybody? Just G here, back with another great video for you. Now, everybody knows who X-Men are. And with the new Deadpool 3 coming out, we all know that Hugh Jackman is coming back as our boy Wolverine. So what I wanted to do in celebration of that was come up with this Wolverine cowl. Now, I didn't just want to do any cowl. I wanted my cowl to look like Wolverine's been through the stuff. I wanted him to look like it's battle damaged, battle worn, and that he's tough, rough, and ready to fight. As you can see by this thumbnail, yes, I am giving away this Wolverine cowl. But no, you don't get to find out how to do it yet. You have to wait to the end of the video to figure out how I'm going to give this Wolverine cowl to one of you lucky subscribers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these files. All right, y'all, what's going on? So I got my first file from DO3D. This is the website right here. I paid $29 for it, but I think it was well worth it. It comes with multiple files. You can get it full-faced, and you can actually get the chin split from the helmet and the eyes separate. So it was a good file, and that's the one I went with. And slicer, I rotated while it was upright. 1 day, 4 hours, not too much time. All right, guys, what's going on? So I just finished priming and sanding my Wolverine cowl, and it's ready for paint. But let me tell you a little bit how I went through the process. I did a new process with the sanding and the priming. Before, I used to sand it, hand sand it with the regular 80 grit sandpaper. Then I probably bump it up to a 120 to a 180. And then I just hit it with some primer, and then I sanded it again. So I get this new process from this small streamer called Imperfect Builds. Go ahead and give him a sub if you can. I'll leave his information down at the bottom. So basically what I did was hit the print with the power sander. I first did it with an 80 grit sandpaper on it, and then I went back over it again with a 120 grit sandpaper. That knocked down the big layer lines, the kind that you get from the top of the print. After I knocked it down with the power sander at 120 grit, I went ahead and did it again with the hand sand with 120 grit. Then I bumped it up to, what was it, 180. So after that, I took some acetone and mixed it with some Bondo spot putty until I got like a nice muddy consistency. Once I got that consistency, I took a paintbrush and I painted over both the top of the helmet and the front face of the cowl. I did it real good and I got it dry. Once I got it dry, I hand sanded all of that Bondo down with 220 grit sandpaper. Once I hit it with the 220 grit sandpaper, I went again and hit it with 500 grit sandpaper. And after that, after the 220 sandpaper, I went ahead and hit it again with 600 grit sandpaper. I went and hit it with Duplicolor primer filler. I did a light coat at first, sprinkling it on, and then I hit it with a heavy coat. After that heavy coat, I went with a wet coat. So basically 3 coats of primer before I even sanded any of it off. The next thing I did was got myself a bucket, filled it with water. That way when I started sanding, I could just dip my print into the water and sand everything off. That kept the dust down and it stopped me having to make a big mess. Once I was done priming, sanding, and I dried it, I'm telling you, this is the smoothest print I've ever made in my life. It came out so well. There is visibly no layer lines. If I look really detailed and I'm like microscopic into the print, I can see the lines, but man, it came out really well. Same thing with the cowl, the front piece of the cowl. I can lick it. I'm not gonna lick it, but I could. So once I tried to test fit this, cowl over my head, it would not fit. I had a hard time because it had a little chin strap on there. So I took the chin strap off, and now I'm able to get it on nice and easy. But now we're ready for paint. So this Wolverine mask came out great. It's snug. It's on there. Here, let me go ahead and take this off. So as you can see by this Wolverine mask, I went with the battle damage ready Wolverine mask. What can I say about this that you can't already see? I got the LED lights working, the scuffed battle damage. As far as the paint job goes, I use Vallejo yellow. It was a matte yellow, and then I added a gloss varnish to the top of the yellow. On the side, I used a satin varnish on the black. I went with the yellow LED lights, and I did a pretty good job of cleaning up the wires in the inside. On the outside, I did a rub and buff basically on the outsides where it would get damaged if he was in a fight or anything like that. So I think that part came out really good too. So let's get to talk about the part how you can win. So I'm not gonna do anything complicated. If you subscribe to this channel right now and you leave a comment, you are entered to win. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do a drawing to figure out who I'm going to send this to. I'm not gonna keep this as much as I wanna keep this. If y'all wanna see me build something else or next month for my next giveaway, what do y'all think that I should do next? Just leave that down in the comments below. Now, everybody have a great rest of your night. God bless y'all, and peace out.
She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me